Hi, first things first, Happy New Year to everybody and welcome to the third video of the Electronic Reporting from Scratch series, where we are going to see basically two things. The first one is how to deal with the user input information using user input parameter or allowing them to directly query our data source. Or in the second part we are going to focus into the Excel format. This is going to be super useful because Excel in electronic reporting is basically very easy to work with, but if you don't know a few key concepts, you can struggle a little bit at the very first beginning. So yeah, join me because I'm sure you're going to enjoy and it's going to be useful for you. So let's go. Here we are, the electronic reportings that we created in the previous two parts. So now we are focusing in basically two things: the parameters or the input information we give to our electronic reporting. In our case, we are going to use it for the export model because I want to do it like that, but the information is quite similar, so it can be used also for importing flow. And after that we are going to see a little bit more of the Excel format and how to deal with it. It's very easy to deal with Excel format with electronic reporting, but you have to know how to do it because there's no that much documentation as always happens with the electronic reporting things. So basically, in terms of the parameters, we're going to go to our export model. Remember, this was the model we used for exporting in XML, but I am not changing the name, but we are using it today for Excel. So we go to map model to data source. Remember, this was exporting, so the first step would be to go from the data source to the model, and after that from the model fulfilled in this map here, from the model map it to the format, and this format would be the file itself, or we generate the file itself. So this would be the first step, from the actual database tables to the model. So in the designer, if you don't understand what I am saying, it's because probably you haven't seen the previous two videos, so I encourage you to go there and see them. So yeah, let's go for the designer. As a quick reminder, we had two tables. It was header and lines structure, and basically what we did is to export them here like that. Header 1 and line 1, 2, 3, header 2, line 2, 1, 4. Yeah, that's the dummy data we have. And what we are going to do now is to, instead of exporting everything, the requirement is to export only the selected header ID. So we have basically two main ways of doing it. The direct way or the intuitive way would be to add a parameter. We can add it here. It's user input parameter, and so we add it and we put for example, as we are going to filter by the header ID, we can put header ID label, and this label can be, I think this label can be, I don't remember how, but it can be translated to many languages, but honestly I don't remember how. As we are going to use an ADT, in our case it's going to be the account number, of course, because we didn't create I didn't create an ADT for this example, but the idea here is to have an ADT with the correct label, so you don't have to at least worry about it. Here you can put some formula to set the default value or the read-only property. in case you don't want it to be editable. And here you can edit the visibility. And allow multi-selection, well, those parameters are self-explanatory, so I am not spending more time in this. We have a warning here, it's about the filter, and this is because of a problem with the where function, with the performance that we will handle in future videos. Spoiler. So yeah, it's going to be a fourth video of electronic reporting talking about the performance and things like that. We have now the user input parameter. So the idea behind the requirement is to, if they fulfill this parameter, we are going to filter, but if not, we are not going to filter. So how we can do it? We can do it creating a calculated field, for example, like this. And this calculated field, it's going to be basically, it's going to be a condition. We can find the conditions here. This if, it's basically ternary operator. I think it's in Spanish is operador ternario. I suppose it's ternary operator. So it's a condition. If it's true, it gives back the first value, and if not, the second one. So the condition it's going to be if we have the header ID parameter, that it's this. I'm going to do it like that. If header ID, it's strange that it's using this. Okay, let's continue. Header ID is different from empty string. Then we want to filter. And how are we going to filter? We can filter with the filter function or the where function. The filter function is going to give an error because the header has itself a calculated field, so we're going to use the where function, but that's not the way I would recommend to you to do it because of the performing issues I mentioned before. But if you want to know more about it, we are going to correct this and see why in future videos. Here we have the header, and it's header.id equals, basically we are going to filter, like we are going to get the header as it is, but filtering the header ID by the header ID parameter value, input parameter value. I don't know if that's going to be correct. Yeah, I don't know why it's putting those things. Where this, yeah, probably I'm putting, no, that's yeah, I'm missing the if not, if this is empty, we're going to get basically the header without filtering anything. And it's giving me an error. I cannot see why. I don't know if it's because of the space here. So what I am going to do is to change this and put it as this. Okay, and now I am going to edit this. Sorry, I'm going to create the calculated field. That it's going to be, for example, calculated field header table. And now I guess it's going to work because maybe the problem was to have the name with a space. It's strange, but let's see. So now the same, if header ID, now it's our user input parameter. This header ID is different of this. where I put in uppercase because here it uses the uppercase, but I guess it doesn't matter. If header ID it's equal to our header ID user input parameter, so that would be the case when header ID is fulfilled, so it's different from empty string. And if not, if we receive an empty string, what we are going to do is to not filter at all. Okay, now it's not giving me errors. So yeah, it was worth it to see how we can, or how we need to put the names without spaces. And okay, so now see that we have a new calculated field header table that it's going to be filtered by the user input parameter, but also in the other videos we saw how I calculated this calculated field based or filtering the lines. This calculated field that I added before in the header, it's going to travel to here. So now we can change the old header that we were using here. We can change it by the new calculated field header table that it's going to be filtered, and clicking yes here, we won't have to change all the nested elements because they are based on the add sign dot blah blah blah. So with that we should be able now to filter. Let's test it out. Yeah, we have the account number because we are not using a specific ADT. If I put 01, yeah, and that's it. Now it's filtering by the 01, so no other record than that it's going to be shown. But if I put anything, it should export both, like not anything, but nothing. Yeah, so it's working fine, but I don't particularly like it because there's from my perspective there's an easier or more out of box way to do it. That it's basically we are going to delete our calculated field. We are going to change this to as it was before. We are going to delete our user input parameter. And now what we are going to do is in the data source, when we added it or when we edit, like here, we have this ask for query checkbox that if we check it, it's going to allow us or allow the user to filter directly. So we go, yeah, we save and we run it. We can have this record to include and filter. And now if I add, I can use that table because I put the parameter to yes, and so I can filter the account number to, for example, and let's see if it works. Okay, and it works perfectly fine. So that would be my preferred way to do it. And also you can add all the tables that you want, and the user can do their queries. It's more flexible. So yeah, once we have it, we are going to complete our new model. We haven't changed the model, but we changed the map model to data source. And now we're going to create basically the Excel export based on that model. So we are going to get a format. We're going to call it Excel export format. It's going to be a can you guess? Yeah, you can. Excellent. And suppose that I import no, because it's going to be exporting format, and this is going to be using this. Okay, create configuration. Now we have an Excel export format. So what I first tried is to go here to the designer and start creating the same way I did with the XML. But the easier, and I would guess the best way to do it, is basically to import an already set up Excel template. And how do we create that template? That's the key here. We can import, but if we import an Excel, let's do it. If we input a blank Excel with, I don't know, with header ID, header string, line string, and line integer. If we do this and we save it, let's save it into the desktop, and we can call it Excel template. Yeah. Now if I do this and I import it, we can select it, create Excel sheet, format element, yeah, apply Excel type, yeah, okay. It's going to create this. But obviously this is not enough. And why it's not getting our fields and so on? Because we need to let the Excel know how to, or what ranges are available, or what ranges are relevant in our template. So if we add, we can go to our recently created Excel template and modify it. Yeah. So if we make it a table, I think we are going to be able to use it. Let's try it. Save, and we can go here, import, and now we should be able to. Hey, what should be? We should be able to update. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you have to be in the Excel root here. Import, update from Excel, update template. I don't know if I saved this. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. Nothing's happening. Good. And why is nothing happening? Well, apply that. Let's try it again. Okay, nothing's happening. And how it works, or how I know it actually works perfectly. I know it actually works using ranges. So let's add a range here. In the formulas we can define name, and this will create a new range. So we can call it here rows. Refers to table 1. Okay. And if I do now, let me save here. Import. Yeah. Import, update from Excel. Let's update the template here. Okay. Apply the yeah, and yeah, update. Now you can see we have the range. So basically those are basically the same. What we can do is to delete one or to not use one at all. Let's use the table 1 and see. Replication direction, that's going to allow you to create many lines. Like if you go to the, you can create many lines vertically or horizontally. Like if you map it with a record list, it's going to get you as many lines as the multiplicity of the record list. And in this case, we want to the replication direction. We want it to be vertical. Generate new blah blah blah. Okay, and keep rows together. I would say no, and that would be it. Like if we do it like very easy or very simple example, we can bind it to our lines, and you can see we don't have the fields. Why? Because also the fields need to be added to our Excel template. So let's go for the fields one by one. This is not very like, I don't know if I like it because I have to be adding in them one by one, but I'm sure this is a lot easier than creating all the structure by the electronic reporting or even development with code. I mean, once we have done this, it's not that a big deal. If there are many columns in your table, you would need to add all of them doing this, but it should be easy. Save, and now if I update the Excel, import, update from Excel, update template, Excel template, yeah, I don't think we need that. Here you are, here we have the, as we were updating, the changes we've done, they are not erased, but the modifications are included here, so it's now easy to bind here, to bind here, to bind here, and to bind here. Note that I am binding here with the lines because this is the multiplicity I want to have in my Excel table, but those fields are not under the header lines, but it works fine because those fields are going to be repeated for every line, and like those are at header level and this is at line level, so it works fine. If that was the opposite, like if the multiplicity would be at header level and the field values would be at line level, that would be an error because it would be getting the first line only, but all the other lines would be ignored basically. So I think that's it all. Yeah, we should put checks to, yeah, that's a warning. We should put checks. Maybe I can talk about it in the fourth video that I am going to do, basically with best practices or things I found. It can be better or more professional for our electronic reportings. So I think we can run it. I don't know if it's going to get, it's not going to filter, probably. Oh, it's doing. Yeah, probably it's saving the last filter. So here we are. We have generated an Excel with the information of our tables, and we basically spent, I don't know, 5 minutes doing it, because it was to create an Excel and to do it. Once we, of course, once we have the model and the model mapping done. So this is the power of the electronic reporting. If we run it again, we can probably see that the records to include, oh, those weren't being, yeah, this was thought to be used. That's why it only got the first, it's only got the first header. But if I put here 2, let's see if it works. Okay, okay. Yeah, it works fine. So that was it. many thanks for your time and attention. It's been a pleasure to record this video for you and edit it, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. And yeah, stay in touch, because in the next days or maybe week, the new or the fourth video of this series, it's going to be posted. And yeah, thanks. Goodbye.